Hey everyone, I'm back with a new video and today I'm gonna be doing Draw This Again challenge. I pulled out some really old pictures from I think like 10 years ago and picked one that I really like. This is it on the right side somewhere. So basically it's a mermaid in a ramen soup. In the new drawing I didn't want to draw her exactly the same way, so I brainstormed some other ideas and figure out the better placement of mermaid in the soup and pick the one I liked in the end. So after that I've started sketching it on watercolor paper, and as always I'm using fluid watercolor paper in hot press. That means that it doesn't have any texture, which I like, and everything that I use is listed in the description. As you've noticed, the older picture was drawn digitally. I think at that time I was more interested in drawing in vector or in Photoshop. I just remember that for a while, for a couple of years, I wasn't drawing in watercolor at all, just exploring the other mediums, I guess. But right now I'm more concentrated on watercolors and just traditional work. That's why it made most sense to me to redraw it in the technique that I'm working right now. I really wanted to concentrate on all the different textures, like scales on her tail or the noodles that are actually mermaid's hair. And sometimes I get really carried away by sketching all the details and then, coloring and outlining that. Sometimes it takes much more time than I expected, but I don't regret it. I really like to pay attention to small things, and I guess it really defines my style right now. The other thing I need to mention is the color. I wanted to change the color scheme from the previous picture. If you will look at it, the colors there are very dark and more on the green and brown side, and if you look at different pictures of food, especially of menus and soups and ramen, it's never, like this green muddy style, and I think like it doesn't look very eatable if it's colored that way. That's why I needed to rework the color scheme too. I googled lots of pictures of ramen and cup noodles or ramen bowls, and they all were in red, orange, yellow, these warm reddish tones, and they looked very yummy, I guess. So yummy that I had to go and make myself a cup of instant noodles too, to be, I guess, somehow inspired to work more on this picture. Okay, enough talk about food. So the other thing that I wanted to try is not outline the picture after sketching. Honestly, I didn't know what actually I want to do with it, how I wanted to look in the end. I didn't have the, complete picture in my mind how it should turn out. That's why I wanted to, kind of experiment maybe. If I will not like how it will look without outline, I can always add it in the end. Anyway, yeah. So you see me working on lots of details on noodles, and it's turning out the way I like. But the most fun part for me was drawing all kinds of different scales on her tail. As you can see, I made them not smooth but sharp and scruffy looking. Sorry, I'm probably using wrong words. My vocabulary is not that great, but you know what I mean, hopefully. So on the tail I used green, yellow, lime and turquoise and blue colors. They mixed all together. This way I wanted it to look, kind of like it reflects the light. But speaking of eatable stuff, if I would see a fish looking this way, I will probably not want to eat it myself. For a bowl, I looked up different existing designs of instant noodles on the internet, and decided to imitate a cup noodle brand, but change it to herb noodle and add this little cute mermaid on the side with the lime. I'm coloring the bowl orange and I'm doing it in a couple layers. This way it's gonna be more vibrant and the coloring could be smoother. Oh, somewhere about here you're gonna see a part where I tried to outline fins and bowl with red pencil, but I didn't really like how it looked like, so a little spoiler, in the end I'm gonna outline everything with brown Micron Multiliner. Yeah, but not everything. I wanted to add bolder, outlining overall, but not in middle. Like, not all the noodles, I'm not gonna do that. The other reason why I decided to outline picture in the end with multiliner is because I didn't like that picture overall was kind of like too bleak. It didn't pop. So outline actually added a nice contrast, I guess. Remember I said at the beginning how I didn't have the picture in my mind, how I wanted to look like? Well, by the end of coloring, I've decided to keep it not as vibrant as my recent coral reef mermaid and have this softer look. I'm still experimenting a lot, and even if to someone it looks like I found myself, I try to think that I'm changing with every new picture and not bound by a certain style or technique. I cannot say that is the best way I could redraw this picture. I did my best, but still there are tons of ways I could improve, and maybe in a year or in a couple of years I'm gonna have completely different style and make it even better. But right now I'm pretty happy with the result, and hopefully you like it too. As always, thank you so much for watching and see you next time. Bye!